Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Feathers by Jacqueline Woodson, performed by Sisi Aisha Johnson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Emily Dickinson. Part 1. Chapter 1. His coming into our classroom that morning was the only new thing. Everything else was the same way it always been. The snow coming down, Miss Johnson looking out the window, then after a moment nodding. The class cheering because she was going to let us go out into the schoolyard at lunchtime. It had been that way for days and days. And then, just before the lunch bell rang, he walked into our classroom, stepped through that door white and softly as the snow. The class got quiet, and the boy reached into his pocket and pulled something out. "A note for you, Miss Johnson," the boy said. And the way his voice sounded, all new and soft in the room, made most of the class laugh out loud. But Miss Johnson gave us a look, and the class got quiet. Now, isn't this the strangest thing, I thought, watching the boy. Just that morning I'd been thinking about the year I'd missed a whole month of school showing up in late October after everybody had already buddied up. I'd woken up with that thought, and all morning long hadn't been able to shake it. The boy was pale, and his hair was long, almost to his back, and curly, like my own brother's hair, but Mama would never let Sean's hair grow that long. I sat at my desk, staring at his hair, wondering what a kid like that was doing in our school, with that long curly hair and white skin and all. And he was skinny, too, tall and skinny with white hands hanging down below his coat sleeves, skinny white neck showing above his collar, brown corduroy bell-bottoms like the ones I was wearing. Not a pair of gloves in sight, just a beat-up dark green book bag that looked like it had a million things in it hanging heavy from his shoulder. Miss Johnson said, "Welcome to our sixth grade classroom," and the boy looked up at her and smiled. Trevor was sitting in the row in front of me, and when the boy smiled, he coughed, but the cough was trying to cover up a word that we weren't allowed to say. Miss Johnson shot him a look, and Trevor just shrugged and tapped his pencil on his desk like he was tapping out a beat in his head. The boy looked at Trevor, and Trevor coughed the word again, but softer this time. Still, Miss Johnson heard it. "You have one more chance, Mr. Trevor," Miss Johnson said, opening her attendance book and writing something in it with her red pen. Trevor glared at the boy but didn't say the word again. The boy stared back at him, his face pale and calm and quiet. I'd never seen such a calm look on a kid. Grown-ups could look that way sometimes, but not the kids I knew. The boy's eyes moved slowly around the classroom, but his head stayed still. It felt like he was seeing all of us, taking us in and figuring us out. When his eyes got to me, I made a face, but he just smiled, a tiny, calm smile, and then his eyes moved on. I looked down in my notebook. Beneath my name, I had written the date, Wednesday, January the 6th, 1971. The day before, Miss Johnson had read us a poem about hope getting inside you and never stopping. I had written that part of the poem down, "Hope is the thing with feathers," because I'd loved the sound of it, loved the way the words seemed to float across my notebook. When I told Mama about the poem, she'd said, "Welcome to the 70s, Frannie. Sounds like Miss Johnson's trying to tell you all something about looking forward instead of back all the time." I just stared at Mama. The poem was about hope and how hope had these feathers on it. It didn't have a single thing to do with looking forward or back or even sideways. But then Sean came home, and I told him about the poem and the crazy thing Mama had said. Sean smiled and shook his head. "You're a fool," he signed to me. "The word doesn't have feathers. It's a metaphor. Don't you learn anything at Price?" So maybe the 70s is a thing with feathers. Maybe it was about hope and moving forward and not looking behind you. Some days I tried to understand all that grown-up stuff, but a lot of it's